Hi, and thanks for watching. In this video, we'll be covering the biggest news from March 2018 related to Windows 10 in an enterprise. My name is Lee Cowan, a Premier Field Engineer at Microsoft in the UK. Now, we're a lot later than planned this month, thanks to the 1803 release, which we were hoping would be live by now, but looks like we'll have to wait just a little bit longer. I'll be releasing a separate video covering the new features, policies, and all the things you need to know about 1803 very soon. First up this month, we have a new update to Configuration Manager Current Branch, bringing up the version to 1802. This update improves co-management functionality, which was introduced in a previous release, and includes much improved reporting for devices which are managed by both Configuration Manager and a modern device management or MDM provider. From this dashboard, we can see information about these devices, such as operating system versions, as well as an overview of how much of our estate is already transitioned to a cloud-managed approach. As well as this, we can now run scripts, allowing us to diagnose and take actions on our end clients in real time. Additional features include the ability to configure Microsoft Edge policies from within Configuration Manager and run a report showing the default browser for our clients. Microsoft Edge Application Guard, a security feature within Edge introduced in 1709 to create a virtualized browser container outside of the operating system. That can now also be configured from the Configuration Manager dashboard to allow the use of the GPU, as well as allowing users to download files from that container over to the local operating system, though this can pose a security risk. Full list of changes can be viewed in the link underneath this video and is well worth checking out. Next up, we have changes to Windows 10 S. If you've not heard of this before, in the middle of 2017, we saw a number of devices running a Windows 10 S SKU, which meant they were only able to install applications from the Microsoft Store. Now, these devices were mainly aimed at education for the time being. Earlier in March this year, we saw some news that the approach to Windows 10 S was changing from a SKU type to a mode, which you can enable on any SKU of Windows 10. Now, this is useful for scenarios such as education and certain businesses, as it can prevent a large amount of security vectors by limiting the software installs to universal apps only and removing the ability to install traditional software. Another update to Windows Analytics this month allows you to monitor Windows login attempts and determine which method of login, such as password, PIN, or Windows Hello with biometrics, were being attempted. This is great for understanding which methods of authentication your users are actually using on a regular basis. If you have this data, then you can help drive the usage of Windows Hello and the more secure, user-friendly methods of authenticating. The quicker we can move away from passwords, the better. We can see here, for example, the most incorrect or most login errors that occurred were from passwords, whereas if we start using things like Windows Hello with Face or with pins, then we start to get really high levels of success rate. If you're not using Windows Analytics yet, make sure you check it out using the link underneath. Michael Niehaus has written a blog explaining the apps that come built in with different versions of Windows 10, as well as ones which download when a user first logs in. Now, this is a question I get asked every week when visiting different customers. So this post is really handy in explaining the different types of apps present and how to control or prevent them in your environment. Now, the operating system comes pre-installed with a number of what we call provisioned apps. These include the likes of Calculator, Camera, Paint 3D, Xbox, and some more. It's recommended that you keep these apps installed and updated, though a number of them can be removed using PowerShell commands. As well as these provisioned apps, a number of apps are also installed from the Microsoft Store when a user first logs in. These apps change depending on the SKU of Windows you're running and the type of account you've used to log in. If a local account or a Microsoft account is used, then games such as Candy Crush and Bubble Witch Saga will be installed. If you're using Windows 10 Enterprise or logging in with an Azure Active Directory account on Pro or Enterprise, then apps focused on productivity are installed. This includes Duolingo, Network Speed Test, Photoshop Express, to name a few. Now, these apps can be prevented from being installed in an enterprise by using group policy or MDM policy to turn off consumer experiences. Finally this month, we have some great news about the performance of InPlace Upgrades. The Windows Insider team posted a really insightful blog which explains the InPlace upgrade process and how it's evolved over the past few years to drastically reduce the amount of time the user isn't able to use their PC. With the release of 1803, we should see this time reduce again thanks to a number of upgrades now happening in the online phase, meaning it'll happen whilst the user is still able to work before a restart is necessary. They quote the average time to upgrade to 1709 being 82 minutes, and that dropping to just 30 minutes with 1803 with the Windows Insiders. Now bear in mind any custom task sequence actions you may have on top of this will increase the time taken, which is another reason to look into using the service upgrade options built into Configuration Manager Current Branch. And that's it for this month. Check out my blog link below to stay up to date with the news, and I'll see you in the next video covering 1803. Thanks for watching.